Imagine dying a brutal, agonizing death, only to wake up exactly 24 hours earlier. You use that knowledge to get stronger, to save your friends, to beat the boss. But what happens when the loop itself starts to fracture and the dungeon throws a mirrored reflection of your past failures back at you? Welcome to Loop-Bound the Mirror, the second mind-bending installment in Alex Key's brilliant LitRPG time loop series. If you loved the tactical Groundhog Day meets Edge of Tomorrow progression of Book 1, Book 2 takes the mechanics, breaks them, and rebuilds them into something far more dangerous. This audiobook is a masterclass in escalating LitRPG stakes, blending deeply crunchy progression, psychological suspense, and the sheer, unadulterated thrill of outsmarting a system that is actively learning your tactics. The narrative picks up with our protagonist having finally mastered the initial layers of the time loop. He knows the enemy spawns, he knows the hidden loot caches, and he's optimized his build to absolute perfection. But just as he thinks he's about to break the cycle and conquer the dungeon, the system introduces the mirror, a terrifying new phase where the environment reflects his own actions back at him. The atmosphere is thick with psychological dread and the claustrophobic tension of a world that feels alive. Alex Keyes excels at capturing the mental toll of the loop, blending the addictive numbers go up thrill with the creeping paranoia of fighting enemies that know your exact moveset. At the core of the book's addictive appeal is its brilliantly crunchy, highly tactical LitRPG progression system. The mirror isn't just about repeating the same day, it's about exploiting the mirrored mechanics to forge a completely new, overpowered build. Watching the protagonist analyze the reflection of his past skills, combine them in ways the system never intended, and unlock terrifying new synergies is incredibly satisfying. The magic and combat mechanics are treated as a complex, logical puzzle. The audiobook narration brings the visceral impact of the combat to life, making the clash of mirrored skills and the shattering of temporal anomalies feel incredibly real and deeply immersive. But beyond the stats and the time manipulation, the soul of Loop-Bound the Mirror lies in its emotional depth. Dying over and over takes a massive psychological toll, and Keyes doesn't shy away from the trauma of the loop. His protagonist's interactions with his companions, who don't remember the hundreds of times he's died to save them, add a heartbreaking layer of isolation to his journey. He is fighting for people who will never know the sacrifices he's made. The audiobook format perfectly captures the weary, hardened voice of a veteran who has lived 1,000 lifetimes in the span of a few weeks, grounding the high fantasy action in deeply human emotion. As the plot accelerates towards its climax, the pacing becomes utterly breathless. The mirror phase culminates in a spectacular, reality-bending boss fight, where the protagonist must face a literal manifestation of his worst loop failures. The combat sequences are cinematic, highly strategic, and incredibly hype. He doesn't just win by having higher stats, he wins by outsmarting the system itself, using the mirrored mechanics to break the dungeon's logic. The finale is a massive, dopamine-fueled payoff that shatters the boundaries of the loop and sets the stage for an even grander, more dangerous adventure. Loop-Bound the Mirror is a triumph of the LitRPG and time loop genres. It is smart, action-packed, and unapologetically addictive. Alex Keyes has crafted a sequel that perfectly expands the rules of the world while keeping the relentless, tactical momentum that fans love. Plug in your headphones, check your respawn timer, and join the protagonist. The loop has changed, and the reflection is looking to